Welcome to this lesson 5, where we will be talking about roles. The role-based approach creates a certain flexibility in the tool that you recognize from a very hectic everyday. But it's needed. And the reason that it's needed is because we need to keep people informed. We need to let people know what's going on. So let's take a closer look at which roles we work with in ActionPlanner. Essentially, there are 5 different roles. Depending on the product that you've purchased, you would have access to more or less of these roles. The creator is the person creating, for instance, an initiative. The main responsibility is to create. The owner is the person requesting a deliverable, and so the focus from the owner is typically on the why is this initiative important, what is it you specifically want to get out of it, and please, owners, remember to articulate what finish line looks like. When will people be done with this initiative? But also by when. So when do you expect this initiative to be executed? Once you've done that and assigned the initiative, the responsible after approving it will then go about executing, and your role as the owner will then be to support and coach the responsible to success. The third role is the responsible. The responsible has to approve the initiative and then drive it. So being responsible means 2 things in ActionPlanner. One is to give feedback in the frequency that has been agreed on. Secondly is to reflect reality in ActionPlanner, so move due dates if need be. The supporter is the 4th role. Now the supporter has 2 very clear use cases. One is if you have a personal assistant that is actually going to be using the system on your behalf. The second use case is if you actually have a co-responsibility, but in ActionPlanner, 1 initiative, 1 responsible. We cannot have 2 or 3 responsibles because then the accountability would be blurry. So for that reason, if you're truly co-responsible, 1 of you would be responsible and the second would be supporter. The supporter role has the same abilities to manage and to change an initiative. Now there's something very important to notice with ActionPlanner. In ActionPlanner, we empower you. As responsible, you get a lot of authority, which means that you are the one that can determine the color of the initiative. You decide on the milestones, the color of the milestones. The 5th role is what we call guests. So if you as responsible for an initiative, you want to include, for instance, a department which is not really using ActionPlanner in your company, you can invite them as guests. They'll only be let into this 1 initiative. Now the guests can be involved in 3 levels, either only on the view level, so you just want them to be informed. The second is to participate, and the third is to collaborate. The last item is shares. The sharing functionality in ActionPlanner is used when you have a governance model where the transparency is not radical. Radical transparency means everybody can see everything. So let's say you've narrowed down the transparency to team level. So now 1 team cannot see another team in another department's initiatives. If that's the case, sharing is great because then you can involve people across teams by sharing an initiative that is run by 1 team with an individual from another team. Another way of using the share functionality is if you're dependent on some initiative in some other department. How can you stay on top of what's going on? How can you let ActionPlanner let you know if dates are changed or if challenges have emerged? Well, you can subscribe to that initiative by going to the initiative and then sharing it with yourself. Thereby, the system will keep you on top of date changes and any feedback that has been given to this initiative. That's the roles in ActionPlanner. It creates so much flexibility, ability to collaborate across teams, across companies, across your value chain. Good luck with it.
Be successful. Execute with ActionPlanner.